yeah, that hustle to get into your position, that hustle that when I had my little tape and I'm hustling it around New York City to the label people, and I hustled around Def Jam. So it's a little bit of you're young, we know you, we see you have some talent, oh, that's your thing you're doing. I got a little thing for you, kid. So they gave me like, we'd shoot promos for albums. So I shot a couple little promos, and then taking a thing you got and making it work for you.
Welcome. My name is Lena. I'm the founder of Between East. It's an entertainment and media company based in Los Angeles that celebrates Middle Eastern and North African creativity, art, and culture to reveal a new global identity. And I'm really excited to be here tonight in conversation with Director X, who's a legendary music video director, and he's worked on film and TV, just incredible director all around. So I'll just get started and dive in, and would love to hear more about how you got started as a director, or even just your creative process. I know as a kid you were into illustrations, then you did some spoken word, and that kind of led you to directing, but would love to hear your journey.
Yeah, I mean, my journey, I said a lot to young people when they asked, hey, how do I do this? But mine was very much a story of just following what you're interested in and not getting too, oh, I'm gonna do this because I want to do that. It's just, I'm interested in this, so I'm gonna do it. You know, when I was a kid, I just drew pictures. I was always drawing. I thought I was gonna be a comic book artist. Definitely, I was positive I was gonna be a comic book artist. To draw comic books, put my friends in them, just do that. Got to high school, someone handed me a party flyer. That was like, in those days, party flyers were hand-drawn. So I got this hand-drawn party flyer, I want to draw, I could do that. So, you know, hunted down the person, started drawing party flyers by hand, going up to people. So it's the beginning of my hustle, because now, you know, they gave me 20 bucks, and of course, I'm like 13, so I'm like, I'm a working artist. Got $20 for that, you know what I'm saying, Dad is. So, but yeah, hustling, drawing party flyers. And around that time in hip hop, it worked out. There was a time in hip hop where people always went around with backpacks. That's why you've ever heard the term backpack rapper? You've heard this term? It was from that moment. So my backpack always had art supplies in it. The backpack rappers, they actually had like shit they stole and guns, but I had art. So I would go to a party, go to the promoter, say, this is my line. Who does your flyers? And you go, this guy. He sucks, I'm better. You know, show them my work and get like you know what I mean? And I don't know why this is. Some people are just shiesty. I just had a memory pop in of the guy who tried to rip me off $5. Like, you're paying me 20 bucks. He hands me the money, it's all fives, but he leaves out one of the fives. Just like, some people are just shiesty. Anyways, some party flyers takes me to graphic design. So now I don't think I'm gonna be a comic book artist anymore. I think I'm gonna be a graphic designer. So I'm starting to get on the computer, I'm starting to really go down that path. I'm gonna be a graphic designer. Around this time, I'm still young and, you know, hot-headed, so I leave home. I'm like 16, 17. I move into my friend's basement apartment. They're rappers. They're making music. Like, so I would sleep at night while he's making music. During the day, I would go to school. He would sleep. And one day, they're writing. Back in that day, hip-hop was all. If you're a hip-hop artist, you had a party song, you had a girl song, you had a conscious black empowerment song, maybe you had a little bit of a gangster, but not quite. It was before everything just went, I'm a gangster, or you know what I mean? So they're working on their like black empowerment conscious hip hop song, and I helped them write the lyrics, because I don't know if you all know it, but you know, being half black, being the light-skinned black kid in the room, I was the blackest black kid in the room. So I'm saying, start the revolution now at all times. So I wrote the conscious black hip hop song for my friends, and went to one of my other friends, we called her Ladybug, she read poetry. So I went to a poetry reading. This was the time of like Def Poetry Jam. And at the end of the poetry reading, they're like, anyone want to read a poem? So I read the lyrics from that. They said, hey, that was pretty good, come back and read another poem another time. So now I'm doing poetry, because why not? So I'm reading my poetry, I'm gonna be a graphic designer, I'm bouncing around the world of hip hop. By now I'd left my friend's basement apartment, moved a couple places, and now I'm living downtown in the second bedroom of this music manager guy. All my wayward friends would come stay with me and cause chaos downtown. And on TV one day, we had Rap City before America had Rap City. But my friends are in there just causing chaos. I'm sleeping for school, and I wake up, And it's this black and white video, Flavor in Your Ear remix. And I see LL Cool J, and there's this girl with a lot of curves. And I wake up and go, look at that girl. And I fall asleep. That video was from Hype Williams. Hype, we had a hip hop name. Hype was from Queens. Hype, something felt different. Something about his videos. There was art, but it felt like the culture. You know what I mean? So now Hype Williams comes on my radar. And I'm like, oh, something's happening in hip hop. Something's happening with our music videos. He did that video and he did another video. I don't know if for the younger people, this is a video you need to YouTube right now. Wu-Tang Clan, Can It All Be So Simple? You remember that video? Right? So this video was for the hip hop, everyone, from that moment, all my rapper friends all wanted their video to look like that video. Absolutely everybody wanted their video to look like that video. It was photography, it was poetry, it was art, it was true to the culture, it made us look beautiful. And so that's kind of in my back pocket. So now, remember, I'm making poetry, I'm in Toronto, there's much music, and one day, the show Rap City says, we're gonna do a poetry episode. You guys, you are the hot poets around, and I'm one of the hot poets in Toronto, come read a poem on Rap City. So I go and read a poem on Rap City. While I'm there, I say to the producer, Michelle Geister, there was a guy in our city named Big C. Big C was he was the intern there. We all thought he was rich because he worked at Much Music, but he had left, he worked at BMG. I said, what's up with that job? What's up with the internship? She goes, oh, we'll work it out. So I work it out through school to be the intern at Much Music. So again, that's why I say you follow these interests. If it was not for the poetry thing, I was at no point thinking I'm gonna be a professional poet, I was just doing it. But that's the thing that got me into Much Music. That's the thing that made me start looking at the cameras. That's the thing that made me say, hey, maybe there's some art in the directing. So then I started thinking about directing. Then the Vibe magazine did an article about Hype, wrote him a thing. I was printing t-shirts of my art. I was doing logos for people. I had now, through my time at Much Music, I shot one of my poems. I made a music video of that, but with their editing equipment, so there was fades and slow motion. This is before you could do any of this in consumer electronics. The only way the lips could move to the things you were saying on your song was with professional equipment. I had access to it because of Much Music. So I sent them everything. There's a video, they go, oh, this kid has some talent. Sent them the t-shirt, this kid has some talent. Sent them my art, this kid has some talent. I go, yeah, and I know I'm good enough to work for free. And that's what my internship, you know what I mean? I was able to get that internship, the thing with Hype. And I mean, there's a lot of serendipity involved in all this stuff, but it's, for me, and still artistically, I feel it's what important. Following your interests will somehow lead you to a better place. If you start getting too calculating, and that's the warning I give to young people, but to everybody, there's a temptation in our hustle culture that everything has to be part of the calculation to the final goal. Calm down. If you like it, if you're interested in it, do it. And that'll get you someplace.
Yeah, I resonate with that so much because I think especially when you're young, you just gotta try different things and see where it takes you. And you don't have to be set on like, I'm gonna be this at this age and that's it, it's decided for me. Like I started my career at CAA and I was like, I like it, but not for me. Went into creative advertising, loved it, but again, wasn't quite for me. I knew nothing about tech, and I started a tech
Drop the name Deutsch, though. Drop the name. CAA, and then in advertising, you went to Deutsch. Like, these aren't little places. Yeah. Yeah, let them know.
Listen, they taught me a lot of great things. Like, it was kind of like a master class, or even like a master's in general, in creativity and working with talent and storytelling. And then I started a tech company. I never started a tech company. I didn't know anything about it. I started a tech company because I had an idea utilizing tech. Long story short, now I'm doing Between East. So like you just follow your interests and you get to where you're going.
Yes.
And I love that that's kind of the path you went on and it wasn't so set in stone. You kind of let it guide you. But then you did start directing. And how did that kind of start? And when was your big break in music video directing?
Through my internship, I made relationships. This is back when you actually had to take tapes to people. This is before corporate conglomerations took everyone and put them in cubicles. So Def Jam had their own office. Bad Boy had their own office. Rockefeller had their own office. And I built that. I was Hype's guy. Right? Hype Williams is a pioneer of
Also, by the way, the fact that you like kind of hustled your way into making these moves and then you started working with Hype, which you saw his work, you're like, I want to work with him. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, where you were like, not enough people say they want to work with someone and are actually persistent about it. But you have someone here who's persistent, and he
Yeah, my assistant Yvonne.
and he was very persistent. Now he's here, and so like you doing that and getting to that place is, I think, a skill that has kind of been lost a bit.
Yeah, it's a skill. I mean, everyone in the room is here as well, so there's a bit of, I mean, we're in a room full of hustlers, so it makes sense. But I see a lot of kids that want to, there's a lot of want, but not enough of the right hustle. And I mean, I don't really say it anymore, what the right hustle is, because it has to come from you. Yeah. I feel. But yeah, that hustle to get into your position, that hustle that when I had my little tape and I'm hustling it around New York City to the label people, and I hustled around Def Jam. So it's a little bit of you're young, we know you, we see you have some talent, oh, that's your thing you're doing. I got a little thing for you, kid. So they gave me like, we'd shoot promos for albums. So I shot a couple little promos, and then taking a thing you got and making it work for you. I did a thing for Cormega. Cormega was part of Nas's crew. He was a Queensbridge rapper. I mean, this is old stuff. But the line in Illmatic was, "What's up, Cormega?" You see them all together? So this kid. Cormega had an album coming out, and he had an idea, a horrible, horrible, horrible idea where we wanted to recreate the scene from Scarface where he's getting interrogated. And then he'd look at camera and say no more. It was absolutely the worst thing I'd ever, to this day, it is a horrible idea. But on one end, I was able to use my relationships through hype, and I decided to make it look like Clockers. All right, I got a horrible idea, let me make it look like something. Clockers is a Spike Lee movie. There's an interrogation scene where the Malik Saeed, I was able to call him a genius cinematographer, has this really hot, if there's any photographers in here, put like a ProMist filter on the camera and then blazed a hot light over top of these guys. So it's blazing maybe 4 stops over. And there's this glow around the lead character coming off his highlights as he's getting interrogated. And the colors are really cranked and the blacks are crushed. Just very visually interesting. From my internship, was able to say, how'd you do that? He said, oh, I did this, I did that, I did this. So I made it look like something, but it was still horrible. And the average person doesn't care what something looks like. But I said, hey, Cormega, give me a verse and a chorus of another song. And I went into the basement of the studio and shot a verse and a chorus of a music video. But just him in there rapping, I'm doing some stuff with the thing I wanted to do, the thing I could do. So, all right, great. You have your horrible commercial. I now have a verse and a chorus of a music video. And now I was able to go hustle that. You know what I mean? And around that time, I got a music video for a group, I think they called Composure. Some basketball player trying to fund some rappers. Again, that's an okay song. I wouldn't say it's horrible, but there's no way, you know what I mean? This ain't going nowhere. I shoot their music video, but I take the narrative that I shot and I put it over top of an opera about a young kid. He gets shot and he's watching his life flash before his eyes, and you see the type of things that would get him shot. Right? Again, now I got that. That's the thing I'll go and, so when I'm in Puff's office, before Puff was canceled, long before, but still, you know, I'm in Bad Boy, I'm like, hey, look at this. I'm with Jay-Z, hey, look at this. Hey, you know what I mean? I had something I could hustle. So sometimes it's taking the thing they give you, I got it, and then what can I do with this? What can I make from this that's gonna speak to my ability? Even though I know what I have there's just nothing gonna make this, no matter how great I make this, it's only so high it can go, but this is what I got, so I'm gonna make something from it. And I did that a lot with a lot of projects.
And you ended up growing your career as a director from working with not so great songs to the biggest artists on the planet. I mean, you've worked with Drake, Rihanna, like every artist you can think of. I think you've at some point worked with them, and we've all seen your work. So I want to kind of dive into the creative process a little bit, because something I heard you talk about is, as much as you continue to grow as a music director, and I think this is still your kind of viewpoint on it today, is you're creating the visual representation of this artist's song, and ultimately the artist is the one releasing it. And so I want to ask you about your collaboration process with the artist and how you present an idea but still take in what matters to them, because it's Drake releasing the song or whoever it might be. But it's your vision. Well,
and now we got into a bit that might relate more to the people in the room. So you're a creative now. Now you're doing something you want to do. You're doing something you're excited about. And what happens sometimes with the creative, they begin to feel like it's their thing, right? So you'll go into the world, and I don't know if you've had this experience, where maybe you're working with an agency, and the agency, they love what they do, but they hate the client. Oh my God, the client, the client. And then the agency is like, good thing we're cool, but then as the production team, we're like, the fucking agency. You know what I'm saying? So everyone thinks that level above them is a bunch of fucking idiots. Am I allowed to swear? Okay, sorry. Anyways, I shifted myself out of that, right? And I think that's important for all creatives. These are not people who are annoyingly in your business. These are the people who are making this fucking thing. And if my personal philosophy is, if you're getting a check from this job, you have an instinct connected to the job. So it stops being, you're so annoying, to, what would you say? But the key is, I tell directors I work with, young directors, you're making a commercial, because this is when what the agency says goes. And then also you want to work with them again, and you want to be, hey, you're trying to do all these things at once. You want to be creative, but you want to be cooperative, but you also want to get the next job, so you don't want to be a problem, and there's all the, okay, whatever you want. No. So you're making a commercial, the wall, you painted it green, or you made it purple, let's say. You have a purple wall, and the agency comes along and they say, I don't like purple, make it orange. Now, you're in a problem. If you say to the agency, no, I'm not going to do orange, I want it purple, you can see where this could all go. But at the same time, if you say, all right, make it orange, the agency's like, why is this guy even here? I'm practically directing this. People think like this. If you make the wall orange, you're like, I'm like the director.
I made one suggestion, now I'm the director.
Good thing this guy, what's he? Now, the key is you don't not do it because you're trying not to do what he says. The key is the note behind the note. Their instinct is right in saying that something's wrong with purple, but no one's told them all you have to say is what you don't like. And that's actually the key for all of us as creators when talking with your partners. I don't like that. And then you get this a lot with stylists. Well, what do you want? I want you to act like you've dedicated your life to putting clothes on people. I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a part, we'll get into giving people the freedom to be creative, right? Because a lot of people get locked into, they get scared to make suggestions because the other side isn't receptive. But still now, purple's wrong, orange is dangerous, but green. And they go, green, that it? And it should come from a natural place, but listening to when people within, not your friend and not your buddy and some random person, right? When people within the structure of the job you're doing say something. So, okay, what they have right? And there's Bill Hader is the guy from Barry. You know the show Barry? Bill Hader is the star, he's the writer, he says the same thing. You have friends that are writers and they're reading your thing. Their instincts about what's wrong with your script are always correct. Their suggestions of how to fix it are always wrong. Right? So just getting into that mode of like, okay, what are you saying? What's that? Listening to people, not brushing anyone off. I've had, my sales rep walk into the room and say, you don't need that close-up. And tried it, took out the close-up. Yeah, it worked. You know what I mean? I've had my executive producer hey, can I try something with the edit? Go ahead. So when you're in charge of the creative, there's a place you want to be where, and this is my personal philosophy, so long as you're not trying to make me change my mind, the answer is yes. The wall should be blue. What if we did red? No. The wall should be blue. What if we did like a cobalt-like reflective blue? Yes.
Yeah, it's really about working with the people that are on the production because they all have their role, but then making sure that at the end of the day, the vision is coming to life, but not ignoring what they're good at, but then yes, knowing when to say yes and when to say no. Yeah. Because ultimately, you don't want people walking away and saying, I could have directed this. And then you also don't want the potential where you're just saying no to things when they really do have something valuable to say.
That's the key.
But you're seeing it in a way okay, I hear something's wrong, but let me see how I can adjust it based on the vision.
It's a team sport. And what you eventually, when you do a TV show and you're spending 15 days together, what begins to happen when you're moving this way is that even the props guy's like, hey, X, I had an idea. I thought maybe if we brought up this kind of cup, yes. Hey, I made a thing, yes. They start hearing yes. oh, I get to like, oh, okay.
You empower them.
Yeah, hey, I have a thing with the camera. There's a shot. I did a thing for MLK for Genius, the show Genius for National Geographic. One of the coolest shots in the show is from my camera operator. Hey, I had an idea. What if we came here and we did spin around and then reveal? Yes, coolest shot in the show. I get credit for it. You feel what I'm saying? So that thing, because you definitely come around. You know, I show ran. I've been on shows. I've been around and heard crew talk about there are directors and there are people that if it's not their idea, they don't want to do it. They get really angry and there's no, the crew hates you. No one wants to work with you. The work doesn't look good. This is your, especially as I get older and I really begin to see everyone as kids. We should all be playing. Everyone should have some time with the ball. Everyone should be on the field. Everyone should get a little time out here to play. You know what I mean? And that's how you get the good work.
And I think that's what's made you an incredible director and really a legend to so many people now. But also, it's opened up so many doors for you to work with so many artists because you built a reputation off of knowing how not only to bring something to life, but also how to work with the team, how to work with the managers and the producers and the agency and everybody else that gets involved. People talk in the industry, so they know, like, oh, this is someone we want to hire. So kind of diving into more of the experience and the relationship and the collaboration you have with these artists that are huge, they're touring the world. So it's like, one part of it is like, what's your process in sharing a treatment or creative with them? And then secondly, how do you direct an artist like Usher, for example, who already knows how to dance, already knows how to do everything that he needs to do, but you have a vision for how an emotion can come out from whatever inspiration you get from the song? So how do you present that creative to get them on board, and then how do you direct them on set?
For the artist, I put that rule that I have for myself and my crew, I put that rule for me. So if the artist comes to me and says, I want to wear red and I want the stage to be red, then he's going to wear red and I'm going to make the stage red. I did a video for Drew Hill, and Cisco was the artist, and this one was still like, oh, the artist, because the label's like, the artist, oh, their ideas are so bad, I hate their ideas, so I got into that. And Cisco says, I want the stage to be red. I'm like, oh, red, what a stupid idea. Cisco and Drew Hill show up in all black. I made the stage all black. Guess what happens when you put people in, artists and artist managers and stylists remember this, because most stages are black. So I have an artist in black on a black stage, and then we're filming them, and there's nothing but floating heads.
Oh, no.
And they're dancing and doing dance moves, and you can't see any of it.
Yeah.
Right? But I just applied my rule to myself, then red stage, all black, perfectly cut out, would have looked incredible. You feel what I'm saying? So there's that part of it, working with the artist. If that's what they want to do, then my job is to expand it and build on it. I'm not there to change their mind, right? And especially when you deal with artists trying to change their mind, there's already people in there. It's bad artistically, which is the most important thing, but it's also bad politically. It's bad relationship-wise, because now you're a person that might tell me no, and that's not what I'm here for. Someone to, right? So there's that. Take whatever they give you and they build it. Like Ariana Grande, you know, I got a thing about computers. The song's about sex. Kind of computers and old, like that robot from that old movie, and then kind of like, and then they turn, and then like the things from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And like the box thing and the kind of, anyways. You know?
Yeah, she's like, do something with that.
Do something with that. And like, all right, what if you're a scientist working on a robot, and then when the robot comes to life, it is magical and turns you into a Barbarella thing, and then we shoot performance. Oh, yeah, look great. And it's fun, and it's a stupid little, right?
Yeah,
there you
and
go.
that's 34 plus 35, so you guys should watch that video, because that's the exact reference to that.
Yeah, 34, 35. So there is that. And what was there was another one I wanted to touch on.
I was asking just about, when they're on set.
Performances.
Yeah, performances when you're directing.
All right, so this is where I'm going to make everyone get active. So there's two parts to, there's two things I've been building, and this is, again, living your life and pulling influences. There's a lot of, what happens, especially in the music business, and the way that we perceive musical artists, is that you are a superhero version of yourself, right? We want you to be, we have a podium, and we want you standing on it, and we want you to be great, right? And part of that is just physical posture. So everyone stand up for a second. Stand up. I'm going to teach you one of my tricks. All right, get on your toes. Up on your toes. Now come down, but keep your weight on your toes. Ladies, you're all used to this with heels in life. Guys, all right? See your weight on your toes? Feel that now? Kind of like move around. See how it's a little quicker? Your boxers say on your toes, on your toes. So as an artist now, I say on your toes. Now if you're up there performing for the camera, my guy right here, come on, come with the camera, come close. You, come. All right, so you're here and you're bouncing and bouncing, you have a little more feel, you have a little more this and that. Right? You're on your toes. Versus if I just put on my heels now, you see it? There's just a subtle difference happening. Then pulling in from just life, the smaller your back here, push it forward. Feel that? You know when you're in the gym, you just pumped up, you just can't, I'm just working out. Just a little push in your back, on your toes, and now that same motion, you see that difference from my normal to this? And feel a little stronger, feel a little more, right? So we all sit down. Okay, so these are physical tricks that you can give, because what are you going to tell Usher about dancing? Hey, Usher, how was your world tour? When you went to every country in the world and 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people sang and did your dance moves back to you. I have a suggestion. Maybe you're...
Yeah, Usher doesn't need to learn how to dance.
No, there's nothing, but you can tell Usher about getting on his toes. You could remind him about, hey, you're right, because even a boxer in the corner, keep this up. You're not telling, hey, this is how you punch. It's just reminders. Then the next level of that, now you start getting into actual performance stuff. So how can I give you a thought that will allow you to perform and surprise you in what you do? So I want everybody in the room to think to yourself, ha-ha, over and over again. Keep thinking, ha-ha. See little smirks are happening on people's faces, right? So when Justin Bieber comes out in the video Pop Star, and he comes out of the bedroom kind of dancing, we went through a bunch. Think that you're like your favorite rapper. He came out kind of hard. Think you're this. Ha-ha. He came out thinking, ha-ha. Right? So what can I take from a record? What is this song about? And now what can I give you that will help you? Because ha-ha is very simple. Keep on thinking ha-ha. Even as you listen to me, even as I talk, I'm thinking, ha-ha, so I feel a little better. I can give this to an actor as they do a piece. You can hear just a little bit of my voice. You can hear the ha-ha, right? Okay, now I'm gonna switch it. So I did a video with a guy, Zayn. We all remember Zayn. We all know Zayn. The video I did for Zayn, look it up, but look for the director's cut. Like I could, the director's cut. Look at the label cut, look at the director's cut. You'll see my point. So Zayn, the record is like I could. And essentially saying he can't do to you he doesn't have the goods that I have. Very primal song, very early, you know what I'm saying? Reptilian brain, I'm stealing your girl and I'm taking your woman. Okay, Zayn, as you do this song, I want you to think about a wolf in the forest, hunting a deer, running. And as I'm saying this, think these thoughts. A lion in the jungle, scoping out a zebra. Now run at it. Jump, sink your teeth in its neck, put it down on the ground, rip it out, eat it while it's alive. Feeling it? Yeah, so even when I'm talking to you now, I'm thinking about lions killing, lions fighting, primal kind of fight, two lions fighting over a woman. So I can't help but begin to have a little bit of that aggression. Now go sing the song. So Zayn is not really well known for being like a dancing guy. The management comes, Zayn's dancing, he's on his knees. Like, what the fuck do you say to him? You know what I'm saying? So these are the tricks that you can use in the music side. If you're an artist yourself, these are things you need to do for yourself sometimes. Are you singing a love song? Well, go take a minute and think about that time you were heartbroken, or that time you were deeply in love, that time taking these things and running those memories as you do the performance, whether it's just saying a word, love, 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 running a visualization, visualizing, I'm gonna even give you the ghost, we're going for it. Picture beside you, standing beside you, visualize a ghostly version of yourself. You see it? I see mine, but everyone got the image of a ghostly version of yourself? Make it do push-ups, crunches, make it dance, make it make it angry and destroy everything in the room. Rage out with the ghost. Feel it? Right? You need a bag of tricks. Which one? Because not every trick works for everybody. Right? I got a big bag of tricks for performance that I can give to artists, I can give to actors and all these things that can pull a performance out of them. And at the key of it all, I can run, my guy's still dancing here as I'm talking to you. I can have this conversation while that thought is going, and it doesn't pull me away from this conversation. It actually fills me with an energy.
And that is the art of making a music video. Guys, that was incredible. I think that what makes you such an incredible director is exactly that, bringing out the emotion and taking the idea that you had for this, how you create a visual representation of this artist's song, and then working with that artist to really bring something out of them. Because, yeah, obviously they're talented, they know how to be artists, but you're telling a story. And I think that that's the key thing to music videos, to anything that we create, even now in the digital world. It's like the storytelling element of it. Like, what is the story that you're trying to share?
Yeah.
And I've also heard you talk about sometimes the story is the color or the lighting.
That's exactly is what I was about
Tell
to
us a little bit more about that.
As you said it, you were leading there, I felt that. I did a video for Tracy Lee featuring Busta Rhymes and Pirate MC. Called the After Party Remix, or the Party Remix. It was a disaster. It was a complete disaster. It was heartbreaking how bad it was. And I went home, I knew from the shoot, it wasn't like I knew the moment we had done the day, like, this is horrible, maybe I should quit. I'm not gonna be a director if I suck. So maybe I should just not do this. And luckily, I had a mentor, and I was able to call Hype, and he talked about a bunch of things, but the thing he said to me is, the video needs to be about something. It needs to be about something. And I didn't understand what that meant. About, you mean like a story? But not all, and I didn't say this to him, because, your mentor's talking to you, I'm not gonna, bro, nah, bro, I'm not, I just shut up and take this in. So I'm just left with that thought, but what do you mean about? I don't get that. It's a story? You don't know what? Then I understood it's about black and white and crushed down blacks. It's about everyone wearing red in a blue room. It's about a guy falling in love, being heartbroken, and it can be what that thing that it's about, especially when it comes to music video. The beauty of a music video is that it's the child of fashion photography and movies. So in the fashion world, it's only, it's a white background and a piece of clothes, and that's what it is. And we make it look great. It's about right? So a music video can be about the visual, or it could be about the story. And that is another key element when you're deciding what something's about, because I see a lot of music videos where they're just all over the place, just doing a bunch of things, right? And that, do your thing. But for me, that just doesn't, I come from that generation where you have a theme, you have a look, whatever it is. You've decided what this is about, and you make it about that.
And I think people end up having an emotional connection to that, because oftentimes fans already have an emotional connection to the song. So then they watch the video, and if it's about something, then that resonates even deeper with them.
Yeah.
So
again, I came up when music videos were about the thing they were about, right? And sometimes it's a weird payoff. Everyone remember Lionel Richie? Anyone remember the video for Hello? Wow, this is a good room. Okay, if you don't know the video for Hello, Lionel Richie is a blind art teacher, right? No, sorry, the girl is blind. Lionel Richie is an art teacher, and the lead girl is blind. She's a student. This makes it awkward today, but anyways, it's college. It happens. Okay, so there's this girl, beautiful girl, of course. And she's working on a sculpture. She's blind, and he's singing Hello because she can't get it. She's blind. Hello, you can't see me. You know what I'm saying? And then this moment happens where they reveal, spoiler alert, the thing she's been sculpting is him. It's Lionel's face, and then and it breaks. It's like the video director is Bob Giraldi. He did all the Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time. If it's a movie in your head, if you have that era when it looked like a movie, Bob Giraldi. And they have a break and they talk. He shows them hello, and he comes back. Oh, genius, beautiful. But it's about the hello, right? The blind. Who would have thought of that? All right, yeah, see, you get it? So sometimes that's what it's about. Sean Paul Temperature is about the weather. You remember Sean Paul Temperature? That's one of mine. it's I got issues with it, but the core idea still works. We did, and I stole the idea. I got the inspiration from the Chicago airport. In the Chicago airport, there's these escalators, and they've painted around the escalators. It's like a circular room, and remember the line pattern in Temperature, where it's like darker blue, shades of blue going down in hard lines? That's the paint job they have in that escalator. So I looked at it and said, oh, stealing that.
So inspiration is all around us, and find your about for the story.
Yes, and talent borrows, genius steals.
There you go. You're a genius.
Listen, I don't mean, but who said that? I think Picasso said that. Don't put that on me. Okay?
So I want to, obviously you've been so incredibly successful, and of course you've had your journey of ups and downs, but something you've kind of had to learn how to do is just problem solve. Challenges come up on set, whether the production didn't do something right, something else happens, there's a fire, and you're like, I have one day to shoot this.
Yeah.
How do you pivot from a kind of unexpected, potentially bad or challenging situation and end up pivoting to make it a win for the production?
All right, so there's a piece of this where you got to believe a little bit in serendipity. There's a little bit of woo-woo, depending how woo-woo you are, but in my experience, there's a little woo-woo involved. So, and there's also strategy and tactics. Visualize yourself as a general on a battlefield. You're Napoleon, and something unexpected happens, you still have to win this battle. You have to pivot with what's going on and keep your mind about yourself. So, I'm doing a video for an artist named Soprano. We're in the Ivory Coast, and we've decided we're gonna shoot a chunk of the song we're gonna shoot at there's this fishing village, a lot of old colonial buildings for when the French really ran the place, even though they, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, so we're gonna do an outdoor thing, but we're gonna dress them in these suits, because there's this African style where everyone dresses up, very colorful, I can't remember the name. They're gonna wear the suits, we're gonna go out here just after we shoot the dance scene on the beach. So we're shooting the dance scene on the beach, dark clouds are coming in, and finally a gush of wind and rain come to us where the dancers just run away. We don't normally, oh, cut, hey, we're gonna, no, they literally just, the dancers run off set. All right, guess we're moving on. So now the rain's coming down, there's an outdoor patio, there's sand and dirt, and that's it. What are we gonna do? We're trying to find other locations. Well, this whole place is a fishing village. There are no, we'll just go inside someplace. There's no inside any places. They're all made to be patios. There is nothing works. But there was a building that when we were scouting, some old building. This video is Soprano, Face la Danse. You should check it out. This old stone building, and it's been abandoned for so long. There's vine growth around it, like like an apocalyptic movie. There's plants are growing all over, inside, outside. And we look at it, and go, let's make this the place. And we move quick. It feels like Cuba. It feels like one of these countries where it's okay for the table to be a milk crate. It's okay for the one chair to be from your backyard, another one to be, some other wood chair. So we just start grabbing elements from around the neighborhood. And we had planned to do a shot with these, those, they're taxis. You see them in India, right? It's like one part motorbike and then back seats. You know what I'm talking about? 3 wheels, rickshaw, whatever. So we got 2 of those because we were going to do a shot in it. Now we can't do the shot, but we can put them in front of the thing. Now everyone has these suits. Inside the place, there just happens to be amazing, beautiful graffiti from a local artist. So there's graffiti in there. We have all this furniture, and they're all dressed immaculately. And we have the 2 rickshaws. We go a little third world. There was a car parked in front of there's just some car randomly parked in front of the location. And somehow the crew manages to take this man's car and move it to the other side of the street, but it looked like they kind of threw it. So it's not, some person came home the next morning in their car, they're like, what?
What happened? How?
Anyways, so we get in there now and we shoot this scene, and it is a million times better than what we would have shot. A million times better. And I've seen this happen a few times before, and like I said, you start getting woo-woo about it. I'm going to tell you one more, screw it. There's a group called The Wanted. Song called Warzone. I write a treatment. Apocalyptic performance scene, fire and explosions, the end of the world and the wanted, blah, blah, blah. It's cool, cool, cool. All right, we're gonna go to New York. I'll go, oh, we'll shoot it at a scrapyard. Right? Scrapyards. Because, scrapyards look like the apocalypse in your head. Scrapyards are very safe places and well organized and very, very cleaned. So we start going to the scrapyards, nothing works. Right? So, all right, we go to, there's an army base. They have a beach and like a house, like a burnt out house. We go there. We book the location. Yeah, we'll put the fireball here. The lady says, you can't have a fireball there. We'll put the car there. You can't put the car there. I see them talking and come over. They're like, you can't have fire, you can't have smoke, you can't have anything. Mind you, I just got off the phone with the label like X. When people promise explosions, they don't really give me explosions. I just want to make sure there's explosions, like fireballs, like giant fireballs. I'm like, no problem. They're like, you can't have fire, you can't have smoke, you can't, we're dead. So everyone runs out now into New York City trying to find a location. It's Friday, we can't permit. Now we start getting, Mr. Barbarelli isn't really around right now. Can we call him? Hey, he doesn't really have a phone. You know what I'm saying? So now there's no luck. Then I get a message from my producer. Does this work? And it's a big pile of concrete and like these burnt out buildings. We're on an army base. It's massive. There's a whole section there where they have firemen train. The apocalyptic landscape I wrote in my treatment.
Wow.
Right there. And so it's war. The first shot of the video is the wanteds and fireball, and they're standing on rubble and playing the piano with flames. It's incredible. It's beautiful. And that's why I get in my woo-woo. I've had enough of these experiences in life where it looks like we're going there. And not only, sometimes the only way God, we gotta live religious. It looks like a small church. Let's go for it. The only way God, you're on the wrong path, and God has to not only push you off the path, but you're gonna tumble down the hill. But you'll end up on the path you need to be on. Can I get a hallelujah, amen?
I felt that.
Collection plate is going around, everybody.
No, that's it's really, really amazing when you stay open and you kind of see what's around you and you problem solve from a positive mindset, and you're like, okay, we're in this situation, what can we do to fix it? And then you see what actually ends up happening if you're open to it, and ends up being magical, which is incredible. I can stay up here and talk to you forever. We do have a couple minutes left, and I think the audience here would probably be super eager to ask you questions. The one thing I do want to note before we dive into questions is that, for me as someone who's Jordanian Palestinian, born and raised in Los Angeles, this is my first time in Saudi, and coming to XP and just being here, to me it feels like I'm in some ways watching Hollywood being built for the first time, but in a new location with infrastructure and resources. And so a lot of the people here are probably directors or artists or producers, and you're an industry like legend from where we come from and have so much to offer here, but a lot of people here are kind of like just starting in an industry that's just starting. So thank you so much for being with us. I think everybody in the audience can learn a lot from just studying your work, and also just from hearing you talk about it, and the actual exercises we did was really incredible. So thank you for being here, and thank you everybody for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.